Well, with me now is Nabila Ramdani. Now, she's an Algerian journalist who was there just a few weeks ago. Nabila, thanks very much for being with us. How much of what's happening in Algeria do you think is down to them looking over the border and saying, yes, we'll have a bit of what's going on there?
Well, the trouble in Algeria is directly inspired by the situation in Tunisia, and the Algerians are very impressed by the extreme bravery of the Tunisian people. And it's no coincidence that Tunisian flags are appearing amongst demonstrating crowds in Algeria, and there are certainly affinities between the rioters in both countries, as they essentially have the same problem, an ineffective and corrupt government. And the level of despair in both countries is also reflected in acts of self-immolations in both Algeria and Tunisia, following, echoing the example of a Tunisian man who set himself on fire, and which effectively started the protest in Tunisia. Another important point is that the rioters in both countries are communicating via Facebook and Twitter, and more generally through the internet. And this is a hugely important change, as we're talking about countries with restricted and indeed state-controlled media.
Now, we know what protesters in Tunisia would like. With regards to the protesters in Algeria, what is it that they want to result from this show of defiance?
They basically share the same concerns. In both countries, you have widespread poverty, mass unemployment, soaring inflation, an endemic corrupt government, and a lack of opportunities, especially for young people. The situation is very critical in Algeria, though, where the median age is 27, with more than 75% of the population being under 30 and facing a very bleak future. And but I think, inspired by the Tunisian models, the early riots in the riots in early January were more about the cost of living and unemployment, but there seems to have been a shift in their claims. And just like the Tunisians, they want more radical reform. They want more democracy in Algeria, and that's why people were shouting slogans like "Free Algeria, free democratic Algeria."
Do you think the level of violence could get worse, and do you find it worrying?
It is very worrying, especially in Algeria, which is a country whose recent history has been characterized by violence. The War of Independence not long ago, Algeria became independent in 1962, and then, of course, the civil war took place for a solid decade in the 1990s. So the younger generation here in Algeria know only violence, and it's very likely that the situation can indeed deteriorate.
Nabila Ramdani, thanks very much for joining us. We'll certainly be following that story with interest. Thank you.
Thank you.